All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, what I'm going to call this podcast is actually, I'm not sure for sure, but I think I'm going to call it If You're Looking for Love, Look at Yourself as an Entrepreneur. Now, that's one word that kind of aggravates me because I think it's so overused, but that's just my own personal opinion. But a lot of times I kind of am known as an entrepreneur because I'm always doing things independently. And I'm always working on all these different projects. And I get it. I'm basically on my own. I got it. But, I was talking to one of my previous clients today. And we were talking about him, building relationships with women and friendships. If you know anything about me, I'm truly about building first friendships, with women, get to know them, and then kind of proceed from there, not jumping headfirst into anything, not very quickly. That goes for dating or sex or any of these things. It's kind of taking your time. And we're just discussing things, and it hit me. And I said, trying to, if you are looking for love or you're trying to get into a relationship, you kind of have to understand how that's such an independent journey. And I think a lot of people that may not be used to being very independent have a problem and fall short. I think a lot of times, a lot of people, I should say, are out there and they're kind of followers, or they just think things will fall in line if they just kind of do certain things. And here's the thing, I get a lot of people may go on a dating app or a website and kind of do whatever they're doing. And it's kind of, I'm not saying it's a numbers thing. And I always say it's about quality, not quantity, when wanting to meet the right type of woman or women. But, you may be somebody who's just following the same routine but never getting the same results. You almost got to think about it as, back to an entrepreneur, figuring out what's going to work best for you. And, kind of becoming creative. A lot of entrepreneurs, even like myself, we can't handle failure. We're going to fail, but when we fail, it's over for us. It's not like a lot of us who are like myself, who's very independent. It's not like I have a job 9 to 5 now where I'm always going to get the paycheck at the end of the week, right? And you got to almost think that way too when meeting somebody. It's going to fall on you. You almost have to take a realistic approach. You may be somebody really who's always had a job or always went to school. And always, a lot of things fell in place. I'm not saying you were a follower or a leader. I don't know what you were. But you did certain things that always kind of panned out and worked out well for you. Again, after school, you may be getting degrees. Out in the workforce, you may be always getting a raise or being moved up. But when it comes to meeting women or a woman meeting a man or whatever, when it comes to relationships, something is not working. Because maybe you're just following, again, the same type of routine or routines, and they're not leading you to where you need to be. And you also may be listening to a lot of other people. Again, as an entrepreneur, we can listen to everybody because everyone's got an answer, right? Or everyone knows what they're talking about when they're giving advice to you, but when it comes to their own shit, they can't, a lot of them are not that successful. And maybe it's time for you, again, to take an independent approach. Get creative again and kind of strategically figure out, what am I doing right? Kind of like an entrepreneur. That works for me a little bit, but what is not working out here for me? Where am I losing out? So we're looking at, as an entrepreneur, money. Where am I spending my money here? Marketing, or where am I spending my money that's really, I'm not getting a bang for the buck? And, where's it working? And I think if you take that approach as a kind of the mindset to be as independent as possible. Now, I'm going to just tell you, very similar to an entrepreneur, a lot of what we do independently, it's about getting customers or word of mouth. And that's my number one thing. And it's not just about the women or dudes or people that you meet. It's having them help you find the right type of woman or women, or if it's women, the right type of men that will, these people are going to vouch for whoever they're going to introduce you to. Because let's face it, a lot of times if the online dating apps ain't working, or websites, your next go-to is you got to go public on your own or with friends. You're going to go out to your probably favorite local spots. Could be wine, not wine, but it could be bar, nightclubs, whatever it is, restaurants, it could be coffee houses, wherever you go. And then the other one is going to be meeting up with other people, or them not fixing you up, but going to social gatherings, but meeting people through people. And again, very similar to an entrepreneur, networking and trying to get as much business as possible. I'm not saying you're doing it for the business or that you got to do something for numbers to meet all these different types of people. But it is kind of a mindset to say, hey, what is out there? I got to be a little more aggressive. Maybe I'm lazy, going on one date a month, or, going on maybe too many dates too on the flip side of that thing, kind of just being rapid fire and following that type of thing back to a numbers game. That may not be working out for you either. Not only financially, but I do think going on a tremendous amount of dates with people you don't know, I think it's kind of whack. I don't mind hanging out with strangers once in a while, but I'm definitely not somebody who's interested in taking, as many girls as I can out till one actually takes an interest in me, because I do think a lot of men think that way, where I'm just going to keep going and I'm going to eventually like who likes me. So that is not the approach I would take, and that's not what I'm saying here. But really just, again, going back to being an entrepreneur for yourself, this is who you are, and we're just going to figure out what's going to work best for you. And figuring that out may take time, but if your approach is not working right now, and you've been doing this for a substantial amount of time, you can't complain. You cannot. I always tell everybody, it's not the women's fault if I'm talking to dudes, and even women that I talk to, it's not always the guy's fault. You can't sit here and say men do this, and that's why I don't like them, or women do this, that's why I'm not getting any, any response. The truth is, it falls on you. It really falls on you. If you're having a problem meeting women, to the dudes again, or having a problem just in general when meeting people, you got to look at yourself. You got to look at yourself. So I'm going to wrap it up there, but definitely think as an entrepreneur, guys and women, don't sell yourself short. You're probably a lot more creative than you think you are. You have, you probably have a lot more energy than you think you are. And you're probably what I'm going to wrap this up with is you're a lot more probably intelligent sometimes regarding certain things, but you kind of don't want to put the time or effort into it like anything else. I do think people just think dating or going out with people is just like, hey, that's all we're going to do is we're going to go to a restaurant, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk shit. If it works out, it works out. Put some more effort into that. I'm just telling you, take more of an interest in where you're going, what your discussions are. Make things interesting. Make people want to gravitate towards you. Make yourself somebody who you'd want to date. Because if you're not, why would they date you in the first place? I mean, you got to really look at that. So, and also don't beat yourself up. Don't be somebody who's always complaining, saying, who would date me? A lot of people, there's 3.5 billion women out there. I'm sure there's enough out there that want to date you. But if you're not out there to find them, or they can't find you, how's that going to work? So, want any more info, you could go to my program, masteringselfconfidence.com. In there, it's a program, and I teach men how to meet the woman or women of their dreams, even if they've been through a bad breakup or divorce. I also talk about health, wellness, fitness, hygiene, wardrobe, things in that nature. You can also go to richcelenza.com, and I've been doing consulting as well. If you want, I usually do one phone call, 20 minutes for free to kind of, touch base. And then we could kind of take it from there if you think I could help you. And I'll take a realistic approach. If I don't think I can help you, believe me, I'll be the first one to say there's nothing I can do for you. But if you do think there is something I can help you with, we could take it from there. All right? Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.